dependent children expecting independent adults. It does not work. When you teach kids just to earn allowance, you are teaching them how to live paycheck to paycheck. We want you to be entrepreneurial, not just work for money. Money has to work for you, because that's how businesses are built.
On your son's 12th birthday, you posted something where you said you don't want to give him toys, rather you bought him property. Wow.
Him getting this property is his American inheritance. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. I'm not going back.
Do you think that all kids should be entrepreneurial?
You're not going to earn with allowances in my house. Why work for somebody when you can own it? It's not in another person's goal, that's on them. But in my family, I want my kids to own the company.
If one of your kids says, hey, mommy, I want a job, I don't want to be an entrepreneur, are you okay with that?
The real jobs, especially for Nigerian home, doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, that's it, right? That's it.
That's it.
If you're not picking any of these, what are we doing?
Failure.
This is how I grew up, and I don't like it. I am changing it for my next generation.
Hey, Ruby.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for, inviting me. I really appreciate it. And you're doing amazing, as I told you earlier. You're doing amazing, and this is going to be great.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. So I like to just get right into it. I've not known you for very long. I think I met you about a year ago. And it was actually at a mutual friend's kid's birthday party.
I remember.
Yep. And I saw this little girl in the corner who was painting the kids' faces. And there was a long queue of people waiting to get their face painted. I'm like, who is this girl? Then I saw you in the corner, and then I realized that was your daughter, and she had just started a face painting business. And then we got chatting for a bit, and then you just threw in like, oh, by the way, my son designs websites for business owners, and he's like 10 years old.
Marketing them.
So I'm like, okay, I need to talk to you. Who are you? And how did you get your kids so entrepreneurial at such a young age? I think they're like 12 and 15. How old are they?
Okay, so Milan is 14, and she started her business when she was 13 years old.
Wow.
So she started last year. Nathan started when he was 11. He started building websites when he was 11. He's been coding since he was 9 or 8. I think 8. He's been coding. So to answer your question, what I do with my kids is we try to not force anything. We try to understand their natural bent. Okay. Because kids will show you what they're interested in. They will tell you. I think what parents struggle with is actually just accepting the kids for who they are, Because most parents will say, not most, but some parents will be like, well, I want my child to be a doctor. Or I want my child to be a lawyer, or, you try to pick a career for them.
Right.
The best parenting will be to understand, study the child's natural bent. Are they more creative? Are they more tech? And then from there, you introduce, the possibilities for them, show them, expose them to the possibilities in the talents that they have. As parents, one thing I always say is every child has something in them.
Okay.
And as parents, what our job is to pull the stuff out of them, not to push things in. We don't impose, we don't enforce, we pull. We don't push in, we pull out. You see? So with my daughter, I noticed from a very young age that she's in the creative space, very creative. And we had conversations with her, In our household, entrepreneurship is normalized. We talk about it. They know mommy owns businesses. And I got this idea even from my parents, from my mom.
Okay.
My mom used to own a salon when I was growing up. And then at some point, She owned a restaurant. And I was part of the sales girls in both of her businesses. I understood money from a very young age. I understood how to sell customers, how to interact with customers or clients, how money grows, how you make money. I understood somewhat what business is, expense, payroll, rent. I understood that from a very young age. So I tried to bring that into my own home. Right. And then with my daughter, she's witnessing mommy as a business person, even from a very young age. So part of my background is with the childcare. I used to own a home daycare before it became a facility, before we bought facilities. It used to be in my home. So my children already saw mommy, in her world doing her business at home, right? So that's just my advice for any parent is normalize the talks about money, normalize the talks about being creative. What were you meant to be? What is God's purpose for you in life? And normalize those conversations. Try to help them understand how to create value from their talents, from their skills. They need to learn how to create value from it, not just earn an allowance. Not just earn an allowance, because...
Can you touch more about that?
Yes, because when you teach kids just to earn allowance, you are teaching them how to live paycheck to paycheck. They now are learning that I do one work and I get paid for it. Okay, so let me just digress a little bit.
Sure.
With my kids, we don't do allowances in my house, like, wash dishes and then you get paid for it.
Right.
We don't do that.
And that's intentional.
Very intentional, for two reasons. The first reason is, again, you're trying to teach the kids how to create value. We want you to be entrepreneurial, not just work for money. Money has to work for you. That's the long goal. So we're not teaching them to, do the dishes and you get paid, or go to a 9 to 5. We're not trying to teach you that, because that's where it's leading. Right? We're trying to teach you how to create value. So you're a problem solver. You're a critical thinker. You're looking at your community, because that's how businesses are built. There's a need in the community, and then with your skill sets, you can meet the need. That's how you start a business, right? So we're looking at the community. You're a problem solver. You're a critical thinker. And you have a skill. You have something inside of you. So the skill that I have, how can I use it to meet the need in the community to create value? If you can figure that out, that's how you get paid. You see?
I love that.
So that's the first reason why we don't do allowances. The second reason I don't do allowances, and this is even more important, is because you are supposed to clean up after yourself.
You shouldn't be paid to clean up.
You shouldn't be paid to clean up after yourself, right? Think about it. I bought the groceries with my money. I cooked the food with my money, right? With my time, my effort. I cooked the food. I served the food to you. You eat it. Then I have to pay you to do the dishes for the food that you just ate that I bought the money for. The math doesn't math to me, or pay the kid to sweep the house. Like, I already, Dad and I already paid the mortgage, or Dad paid the mortgage. Your parents are already providing this. The least you can do is pick up a broom and sweep. The laundry, I bought your clothes. You look nice. Now you wore the clothes. Now I have to pay you to wash the clothes that I bought. I don't do allowances, to each his own. But that's just me. I don't pay them to do their chores. It's part of being in our home. It's part of our culture, our family culture. So can I share that with you?
Yeah, okay, please.
So in our home, we have family culture, just like you run a business. In your business or in a corporation, they have cultures, they have core values, right? So in our home, we have the Mbelu core values. And all the children know it. Dad knows it, I know it. It's part of who we are, right? So we came up with an acronym for it, and it's based on our names. It's based on the kids' Igbo names and my husband's name and my name. And it's OR, 4C, 2H. So OR, that's obedient. We're an obedient family. We obey God and we obey our parents. And then the R stands for respect. We're a respectful family. You're going to respect your parents, you respect yourself, respect your siblings, and respect others. Then the 4 C's, because there are 4 children and they're Igbo names, start with C. So the 4 C's is we're a Christian family. We believe in Jesus Christ. He's our Lord and Savior. We're a creative family. So what I was talking about earlier, we're creative, right? You find creative ways to create value.
Yep.
Or we're also kind of, how do I say it? Like we're creative in our environments, right? Like the things we do, like the art in our house is Milan that painted it, right? My daughter styles me, the other one, Adele, she styles me sometimes. So we're a very creative family. My husband is a worship leader and has an album out, a gospel album out, you know? So we're a creative family. So that's the second C. The third C, we're clean. Emphasis on clean. Can you loud the mic?
Oh my God.
We're clean because my husband and I, we don't play that, you know? And that's where the whole we don't pay for allowance. Yes. Yeah. So it's part of our core values. We're a clean family. We clean up after ourselves in this house, right? And then the 4th C is caring. We're a caring family, you know? Caring, loving, kindness, all in that. The 2 H's is for honesty and hardworking. We're a hardworking family. So with your grades, with your business, the face painting business, you know, the coding and website business, my business, my husband's work, we're a hardworking family. And then we're honest. Right? So any of my children you see at a party and you say, hey, what's the Mbelu family values? Or what's your Mbelu core values? They should be able to tell you these things I just said. It helps put everything in perspective where you're not yelling all the time. So for example, emphasis on the clean part, right? Let's say somebody did not do their dishes or something. I can say, that's not part of our family values. That does not represent our family well. What is our family value? We're clean. We're a clean family. Okay, let's get to work. Or if you're being disrespectful, that's not who we are as a family. You know, you can always revert back to your family values because you have put rules around it rather than yelling all the time. Why are you not doing it? Pick up your toys. Pick up, you know. At a point, they get tone deaf. They're like, we're not listening. But when you tie it back into a meeting that you all had and you continue to have that, and it will change, right? It will change as they grow. Because I would imagine at some point, the O is not going to be obedient anymore. I mean, when they get older, you know, they don't have to obey their parents when they're older, you know. But this is what we have for right now, and it works. I'm sure in the next couple of years, we'll have to revamp based on the season that we are in, right? So yeah, that's our family values.
Wow, that's all I have to say. You're very intentional.
Thank you.
So you did these values together as a family?
Yes, so we came up with the values together as a family.
How old were the kids when you did this?
We started family values. We started talking about it and introducing family values when Milan was maybe 7 or 8.
Milan is the oldest?
Yes, Milan is the oldest. When she was 7 or 8 was when we started having family meetings. So what we do beginning of the year is we have a vision board. So we all have, you know how you have vision board parties? I do that with my children and my family, my husband. We do it together. So they have goals for them for their year. You know, it could be anything between, okay, I want better penmanship, you know? Like my son, my last born, that's one of his goals this year is penmanship, right? Certain number of books they must have read by the end of the year, you know, all A's or, you know, it doesn't even have to be all A's. Say, for example, they struggle in one subject. Well, that could be a goal like, okay, if I can just make B, if I can just pass this class, you know what I mean? So they don't have to be perfect. And that's one thing. I don't want to give off the perfect look, you know, because we're not raising perfect kids. We're raising prepared kids, prepared ones. You have to raise prepared kids, capable kids. independent kids, right? Confident kids. So we do that every year. We start the vision board, and everyone has a vision for their year. And I even share my vision with them. You know, we have vision for our spiritual life. So, like, what do we want to do as far as like serving in church? Yeah. As far as like reading our Bible, reading our word, this is, you know, I want to have finished the Bible in 1 year, or at least I want to journal something, you know, just come up with a goal that between you and God, right? And share with the family. We also have, I've talked about academic goals, with spiritual goals, physical goals, you know, like for me, you know how it is with mothers and women and our weights, you know? So there's always like a weight goal that you're trying to, and I'll share it with my family, you know? As a family, we want to eat healthy and stuff like that. You know, we'll share those health goals with each other. Financial goals, I share with them. I'm like, okay, this is my target for this year. Now, my daughter has joined the entrepreneurial space, so she has a target this year. My son has a target. My husband has a target.
A target of like how much they want to make?
Yes, how much they want to make, how much they want to save, how much they want to invest.
Do they invest already?
Yes. So we have investment accounts for them to invest. Because I think I shared that with you at the last party I saw. I saw you at.
Yeah. I had asked you, like, hey, does your daughter know, like, how much she has, and is she aware that this is a business, and does she know how much she has?
Yes,
They're like, oh yeah,
course.
we have goals.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
Yes. So Milan has her own accounts. Her business is an LLC. It's registered. It's official business. It's not a hobby. It's a business, and she has a business account. She has this thing called Roth IRA. It's kind of like a high interest saving account, something like that. So she has all that set up for her. And her dad is like a financial guru, you know, so more on that, you know, my husband will be here to explain better. Yep. But we have those things set up in place for her. We also have all of them, like trusts for all of them, like trust fund. They are trust fund babies, so we have all that set up for them.
Wow.
Yeah, we have that set up for them. And with her, I was sharing with you during the party that, yes, she does know what amount she has, like how much she has saved, and I don't let her spend it. And here is why. Now, to each his own, okay? But I share my, you know, I'm here to share what I do in my family.
Yeah.
I don't let her spend her money because, number one, she has a goal, and then number two, I want to teach her discipline with money. I want her to learn how to save, how to build, how to create, right? What mistake that a lot of parents make is when, say, for example, I gift your son some money, $10, and then he's really excited, and he comes to you and he says, Mommy, Auntie Ruby or Miss Ruby gave me $10. Can I go buy candy? The mistake parents make is, sure, it's your money, do whatever you want. When you do that with children, they grow up thinking, once I make money, I have to spend it right away. It's a psychology thing. So a child psychologist here, low-key child psychologist, it's a psychology thing. They learn from very early that once money is in my hand, I have to spend it. Instant gratification is what we're teaching the kids when we do that.
So what would be the right way to handle that?
Okay, so my advice will be, at first, you've already started conversations with your son about money, about saving, about hitting a target, hitting a goal. So when Miss Ruby gives you $10, oh, perfect, we can add it to such and such we already have. Oh, we're almost there with our goal, or we're hitting our goal. Wow, awesome, right? If you've already started that conversation. If you've not started the conversation, then that will be the best time to say, this is amazing, you have $10. Let me teach you options. Let me give you options on what we can do with this to make it grow. Do you know that this $10 can grow later? You will see his face light up. Like, I had $10, but if I wait, it can grow to 15. It can grow to 20. Tell me more. You know, that's how you introduce them into learning to grow their money.
Girl, this is a whole masterclass. I talk to my kids about money, but we don't have a goal. Like, there's no number. I teach them how to make money, but we've never really sat down. And my older, he just turned 7.
Okay.
So we've never really sat down to say, hey, this is the goal, so that every money you get, this is how we're gonna use it to contribute to that goal. So you're giving me ideas of things that I can immediately go back home and implement, I'm sure, for people watching as well. So that is amazing.
Yes.
And let's talk about something else. I mean, since I met you at that party, I've been following you on Instagram. Every time I see your post, I'm wow. But on your son's 12th birthday, you posted something where you said you don't want to give him toys or do anything trendy. Rather, you're going to buy him, or you bought him property, and I saw you
my husband and I. Yeah.
Hand over the envelope to him. And I'm just like, wow, you guys are on another level. That is very intentional. So tell me a little bit, did you think about that for long? Whose idea was it? Why property? Do you have a plan on when they turn 12, we'll do this, when they turn 14, we'll do this?
Yes.
As much as you can share.
Yes. So we've always had a plan on, again, every time, every year we have goals for our family. And adding to our real estate portfolio is part of the plan. Now, if you think about it, it's not really an original concept of Obi and Ruby. It's actually a cultural concept. We're Igbos, and Igbo people pass down properties to their children. So we're just modifying our culture, right? It is something that we are used to. There's land that grandfather passed down to father, passed down to son, and son is going to pass it down. So it's not an original concept. It is just something, like I said, we modified and we're doing here in America. Okay? So that's it. We're normalizing inheritance. We're normalizing exposing the children to an inheritance, right?
Yep.
So him getting this property is his American inheritance. Yes, there's Nigerian inheritance, but we want to create and build wealth here. We want them to have a base. We want them to have inheritance and land here. So that's where the whole idea came from. It's not...
but even with the Igbo culture, do you give kids... I know, like, when you're older or when the grandfather passes, or then you know that, oh, grandpa left this or daddy left this. Is it common in the Igbo culture to give even kids inheritance?
So what is common, that's why I said we modernize it.
Okay.
Because what is common is the land of the father, and you just know that this land is going to the son eventually. You just know that this is his land.
Yep.
Now, what we're not going to go into is how people try to steal the land when dad is no longer alive. Now you have uncles and people, coming to steal that land. Again, because there was no proper documentation on who should inherit the land. So that's where we're modernizing it, okay? So rather than just have the land in our name, let's have it in his name. Let's put it in a will. Let's put it in a trust. Let's, make it legally his, so that there is no confusion. That's the problem with the African culture. There are no proper documentation. So there's always conflict when grandfather is no longer around or when father is no longer around. Everybody wants their hand in the pot.
How do your kids feel among their peers? Like, do they have a sense of entitlement? Or I can imagine your 12-year-old walks into school the next day and is like, hey, I have property. So how do they feel? Do you think that it makes them feel different from other kids?
No, they're still children. They're still children. My kids they don't walk around with, their shoulders held high. I mean, I want them to be confident, but they're still kids, The only difference with my kids, they play. My kids play. But in our household, you not only play, you also produce, right? You learn how to create value, right? So I think there's a good balance for them when they're with their friends. They're with their friends. They talk about dolls and, boys talk about soccer and basketball and stuff, right? But then when we're home, yes, you talk about these things, but then we also have goals. And that's the safest place to talk about your goals is with your family. Right? There are so many things I can share with my husband and my children that I wouldn't share with an outsider, right? So you create that safe space for us to talk about our deep goals, our vision and stuff like that. But when we're outside, even me, when I'm outside, I can brunch and have lunch and kiki with my friends, but I have a goal and I share that with my family, right?
Lovely.
Yeah.
You posted something like, girl, I'm on your Instagram studying everything
Oh
you do.
my goodness.
You posted, you guys traveled. I know you guys go on a lot of vacation, and you went somewhere and you said something like, I'm dusting generational poverty. I laugh, but I'm like, this is actually powerful. And if there's any word to describe you, it's intentional. You're intentional with your choice of language for the kids, with the values, how you raise them. But that post caught my attention. So what do you think is the place of travel in raising kids to have generational wealth? And tell me about why you made that post and why you said what you said.
Yeah, so it started off me just being funny, right? Because the place we traveled to, it was a luxurious environment. The hotel was luxurious.
Was that Mexico?
No, it was in Puerto Rico, I think.
Puerto Rico?
I think it was Puerto Rico. But it was very, very nice, a very nice looking place. And it was a money goodo type of, it was a money goodo type of post, but it got so much attention, even from friends, just me saying I'm wiping poverty off my lineage, right? But it was just me being funny at the moment, but it was a way to be intentional as to, I know where I'm coming from, I know where I'm going, I belong in this room, right? So it was me telling myself, yes, I have a story, I have history, I know where I'm coming from. I thank God for the elevation and the lifting. And now that I'm here, I'm inspired to stay here. I'm not going back. I'm inspired to stay here and move up and grow. So that was me saying, I'm wiping generational poverty off of me and my children. We are here, we belong here. You know what I mean? So it was me being funny, but it was also a declaration and it was also prophetic. And a lot of my friends messaged me. I was like, this girl, because I say things like that, just to be funny, but really not funny also. I'm speaking into existence. And the thing about travel, the reason we travel with our kids is because it shows them a different way of life, shows them how people live. It exposes them to different cultures. And when there's exposure, it elevates your thinking, the way you think, right? It gives you vision. You cannot build a life that you've never seen, you see? So you have to show them options. You have to show them life. You have to show them different ways. So the key word is different. You're showing them different. And that's why we travel with them, so they can experience other cultures. That's how you create learned kids.
Right.
Is exposing them to different
cultures, different environments, and giving them options. You talked a little bit about like your background and how you worked for your mom, but I'm curious to how you became this person that you are today. How was growing up? How was baby Ruby? Did you grow up rich, poor? Did you know what all of that was? And was there any like particular incidents in your life that made you say, I'm going to do things differently, I'm going to continue things? Just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my background, I was born in California, and my parents moved quite a bit. So again, travel has always been a part of me, and
Makes sense.
it builds confidence even in children, because I think that's one of the reasons that I'm confident and I can adapt to any environment because I'm well traveled, right? So we moved from California to London. We lived in London for a little bit. Then my parents moved to Germany. So we lived in Germany for a little bit, and then we moved to Nigeria.
How old were you when you moved to Nigeria?
I know we lived in Nigeria for 10 years. So I want to say I was 8 when we moved to Nigeria. So we lived in Nigeria for 10 years. And then as soon as I clocked 18, because I'm an American citizen, born in California, I could come here to school. So I moved back to America with $667 in my pocket, and I moved by myself, no family here. And I was determined to make it for myself, right? My parents had instilled in me the confidence that I can do it. I understood money because I worked in my mom's shops. So I knew how to survive with anything, you know? I moved here, and I started my first job at a local grocery store. But my side gigs was like braiding hair, because I worked in my mom's salon. So I know how to braid and do different things. And that's me here now. So that's a little bit of my story. A lot of the things that I practice or do with my children is based on my history and based on my education, and then based on other people's experiences as well. So it's like a melting pot of different ideas and different ways to better parent, to be an even better parent, right? That's where I learned the whole travel from. That's where I learned children to be entrepreneurial from a very early age, you know, because it was a thing where I was running the shop. Like, my mom would sit home and be like, Ruby, go to the shop and go and see what's going on there. And I'll go there. I know how many.
In Nigeria or here?
In Nigeria. I know how many people are in the salon. I know the hairstyles, how much each hairstyle. I know braiding is different from wash and sets. We call it wash and sets back then. I know, so I can look at the shop and know how much I'm expecting from each customer, right? Even during the weekends, my mom will send me to where we buy the warehouse, the wholesale shampoo, the wholesale conditioner. I knew where to get those things. I knew the landlord, so I knew how much our rent was. The light bill, NEPA will show up. You have to pay a light bill, you know. We had some thugs in the area that will show up.
You grew up in Lagos or?
Lagos. They show up and they are called a lock-up shop. So you see them, you have to give them something, or they will lock up your shop. You know. So I learned how to run a business even before I got here. Right. You know. So it's instilled in me, and that's what I'm trying to instill in my children. You know, but with better comfort. You know. Yep. I want my kids to not. I'm not raising kids to be entertained. I'm raising them to be capable. I tell my daughter all the time, you are 14. In 4 more years, you'll be 18. You'll be just as old as how old mommy was when she moved to a whole different country by herself. And she's like, Mommy, what? I'm like, think about it. Think about, can you move to Paris by yourself in the next 4 years? And start college by yourself and just figure yourself out in Paris? The first time I asked that question, you could see she was like, no. But now when I ask her, she's like, yeah, I can do it, you know? So it gets her thinking about being independent. The problem parents have is this. We're raising dependent children, but we're expecting independent adults. So
we're raising dependent
children, and we expect them to grow to be independent adults.
Wow. So do you think that we're playing it too safe?
Yes.
With our kids?
Yes.
I mean, like,
children are more capable of a lot more than parents give them credit for. Do you know how I know that?
Tell me.
Because I've raised hundreds of children in my daycare. And this is what happens all the time. We see this all the time. Us in the childcare industry, little Johnny can do A, B, C, D, E, F, G in class. He can wipe the table, push his chair in. He plays with toys. He cleans up his toys. He puts it where it goes, and he's ready for outside time. When he's outside, after outside time, he can put all the toys away. Outside time, he comes in, he knows to wash his hands. When he comes in, he sits nicely, ready for his snack or ready for his lunch. When he's done with lunch, he can pick it up and throw it in the trash and wipe the area. You know, this is little Johnny. Johnny goes home, he's on the couch. Mommy is running like a chicken with a head cut off, doing everything for Johnny. We see it all the time. And then when you try to advise mom, like, hey, do you know that Johnny can, she's like, oh, but he's only 5, or he's only 6, or he's only 7, or he's only 8, or he's 10. He's just a baby. He's only 10. He's just a baby. And we're looking like, oh my God, if only you knew what Johnny is capable of. That's the problem with a lot of us mothers. We are too, like you said, we play it too safe. And we don't pull out of our kids what is already in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Johnny can do it.
Yeah.
Johnny can do it. You just haven't given him the chance. And if he does it at home and he fails, because this is another thing that, you know, you would hear from parents is, well, he tried it once and he spilled all the milk or something like that. It's like, okay, but give him a chance. He did it the first time. That was his first time. Let him try again. Practice makes perfect, right? My kids right now do their laundry. My 7-year-old does his laundry. Every single kid do their laundry. They have their days. They have the ones who do laundry on Friday, they have the ones who do laundry on Saturday, and the ones who do laundry on Sunday. And
so they're putting it in the washer, dryer,
folding and putting it up. Yes. I'm of this school of thought. If you know your colors, if you're old enough to know your colors, you can do laundry.
That's my 2-year-old.
If you know your colors, you can do laundry. That's the first school of thought. The second school of thought, if you can operate an iPad, you can operate a washer because they know how to, you know, them kids know how to turn and operate their iPad.
Figure it out.
Yeah. You give a little child this phone, they can open, without the password, they can open it. They know where the YouTube channel is. They know where everything is. They can figure it out. So why can't you figure out in the washer how to turn it on? All you're doing is putting the clothes in, and you know your colors. You know your dark colors, your light colors, and white. So separate your laundry, the darks, the lights, and the whites. And if you're confused, ask me. Because, you know, sometimes the clothes will have some kind of print. You don't know if it's dark, you don't know if it's light. Ask mommy, Mommy, should I put this in light or dark? And you put it in the light basket or in the dark basket, and you wash them. Fold. They have these folding things now that help kids. You know what I'm talking about? They have those. So spread your little shirt in there and fold it. Put it in the drawers. You stuff everything else in there. You might as well put the clothes. Right. You know? So children are a lot more capable of things than we give them credit for. That's one of the major mistakes I see with parents as a child care provider.
What are some other mistakes that we're making as someone who owns multiple daycares, and you've done this for years, you have degrees in it? What are some other things that you see that parents are making that we can immediately start to fix?
One of the mistakes I see that is also common is we compare children.
Like siblings or?
Any kind of comparison. So both siblings and even friends. Okay, so it could be between your two kids or between, well, how come Johnny is doing this and my son is not? Or how come my son is doing this and Johnny is not? Because they are classmates. They're in the same class, you know? So parents tend to compare. And what I always tell parents is look for what is in your child. Don't compare. Every child is different. There's something that is in your child that you can celebrate, that you can nurture, that you can pull out of that child, right?
Yeah.
So not everybody is going to play soccer.
Speaking of soccer, my 5-year-old, he absolutely loves soccer.
Okay, that's good.
And I love it. I love to be a soccer mom. But I'm thinking, you cannot just love soccer. How about you love math? How about you love science? But what I'm hearing from you is find that thing that he loves and just nurture it. Do I ignore everything else?
Not ignore everything else. I mean, as your child, you want to encourage them to try their best and do their best in everything. Okay? But the best could be very different from what my kid's best is in. So let me give you an example with what you just said. Let's say he struggles in math and he's just not getting it, but he's a creative child or he is athletic, right? Like soccer. So that's his natural bent. So you're already encouraging that. You're already celebrating that. You're nurturing that. But then we're going to try our best with our math. His best could be a C. He did not make an F, but he pulled his way and worked so hard. That's one of our family values, is hard work. You work so hard to pass the class. If you work so hard and you pass the class and you tried your best, that is, I'm going to celebrate you. You know what I mean? Because that's not your natural bent. It's not, you're not a mathematician, but you tried your best and you passed your class. So I am proud of you. I don't expect an A from him. I expect him to pass. I expect him to try his best. And then with his natural bent, we celebrate him, we push him towards whatever that is. You know what I mean? Not every child will be good in science. Not every child will be good in math. But you're going to try your best, and you're going to work hard. And I would encourage you and celebrate you. And I'm proud of you for trying your best. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you have, how many kids you have? 3?
3 boys.
Okay, so you have those 3 boys. At the end of the school year, they bring their reports. One has an A in math. Another one has a B in math. Another one has a C in math. We're celebrating all the same because the one who had the A, you already knew is a natural bent. He slept all day and made A, right? In his math. But the one who made the B, he tried and got the B, right? He went from passing to, he put that extra effort to get to the B. We're celebrating them the same. The one who made the C, who just rolled into the C and like, oh, thank you, Jesus, I made this class, right. And you already know that he's not, like, that's not him. We're celebrating all the same. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what the mistake parents make is, why can't you be like your brother? Look at him. He made A. What are you doing with C? Why are you bringing C into my home? Yada, 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 yada. But he tried. That's the best he could give you in math.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we're celebrating them all the same because guess what? When you turn around and pick another subject, maybe history, this one who made C in math, maybe his history. And then the one who made the A cannot stand history. And he tried his best and made the C. So we're celebrating the same. You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's one of the mistakes, to answer your question, is the comparison. Don't compare the children. Just pull what is out of them, nurture it, right? Don't push things into your kids. You pull things out. Don't push. You must be a doctor. I want to answer Mama a doctor. I want to answer Mama a doctor. No. Let's slow down now. Let's ask God what He wants for your child. What's your child's purpose on earth? And they start early to show you. You will see the signs. You will see the signs. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that all kids should be entrepreneurial? I know that you said your mom was entrepreneurial, which is where you got it from, and which is where your kids get it from. But do you think it's important for kids to have businesses?
Not every child. Again, what is their natural bent? Okay. Because I'm entrepreneurial, I would always look for a way to create value in the community. And that's how you make money. That's how you earn. You're not going to earn with allowances in my house. But that's just me, right? Yeah. So I'm not saying every child has to be entrepreneurial. But we, in my family, we normalize entrepreneurship. We normalize ownership, okay? Why work for somebody when you can own it? That's just my family. If it's not in another person's goal, that's on them, Like, okay, I just want you to grow, make good grades and graduate, get a good job, That's a good goal. And I'm not knocking that. But in my family, I want my kids to own the company. I don't want them to work in the company. I want them to own it. And that's the long-term goal.
So if one of your kids says, hey, mommy, I want a job. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Are you okay with that?
If they say for sure they don't, I'm going to open, because again, the thing with children, for a child to say that, you have to make sure that you have exposed them to options. If you expose the child to options and they still say they don't want it, then you allow them do what they want, right? I'll give you an example. You've heard the 2 stories of my 2 kids. My 3rd child is a fashion designer. Not sure if you know that, but Adele has gone to sewing school. She's graduated from sewing class.
How old is she?
She's 9. She graduated sewing class, and so cute. She was the youngest in her class, and their graduation day, what they were, the project for graduation is to make the dress they will wear for their graduation. So she made the dress from scratch that she wore for her graduation.
A 9-year-old?
A 9-year-old, and she walked, they had this little runway, and she walked, and she was so excited. Mm-hmm. How did I find out that she likes this? Again, children will show you who they are from a very young age. Mm-hmm. She draws different sketches. She likes to style me. So anytime I'm dressing up, she will come in and be like, Mommy, have you tried? I know that your yellow top will go with it. She's very girly like that. So when you notice those kind of things, and she will draw like different sketches. Mm-hmm. She will take like old socks and cut it up and make little doll dresses for her dolls. And they look so good. So we always missing socks. We always missing, when Xander was little, the last born was little, we're always missing his swaddle blankets, his beeps, always goes missing. And here goes Adele, she's making clothes for her dolls. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, there's something here. So we then asked her, we're like, we noticed you like fashion. And she was like, yes, I want to be a fashion designer.
Where did she get that from? Is she watching shows?
Fashion, yes. So she watches a lot of runway model type of shows. That's her natural bent. Mm-hmm. If you give her YouTube, that's what she's watching. Shows how to make a dress, how to make tutu skirts, mm-hmm. The difference between a pleat and whatever, it's not my thing, but that's her thing. She loves shows that have to do with fashion and making mm-hmm. clothes. There's a show, I forgot, something runway. Is it Run the Runway or Rent the Runway? Something like that. There's
Project Runway?
Project Runway. That's one of her things too. She watches that. She likes to watch all these things, So the first thing we did was, okay, we got her a sketchbook, a professional sketchbook, and she was so excited. She knew what it was. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I have to introduce her to it. She already knew. Next thing you know, she's filling it up with design. She's like, Mommy, this is my spring collection. This is my summer. I was like, look at this little girl, mm-hmm. She has a spring collection. She has a summer collection. So I was like, okay, let's try to get you in a class. So I called up some sewing classes and camps, and I told them her age. And they were like, because at the time she was 8. And they were like, she's too young. I said, I promise you. Why don't you just give her 2 days? Give her 2 days. If she's mm-hmm. too young, then I'll wait. But I'm pretty sure she's ready. And it's like, no, we start at 10, yada, yada, yada. I said, please. She's very mature for her age. And she's tall for her age, try her out. So she went for a tryout. Within the first 30 minutes, the teacher is texting me, oh yeah, she can stay, pay the full price, everything. She's amazing. She even knows all the keywords in their fashion industry thing. She knows everything, even more than the people who are older than her that are coming for the class. She already knows. She's like, yeah, sign her up. And she was also concerned about the the sewing, they have to step on something.
Right.
So when you're sitting, is she old enough is her leg long enough to pedal? And it was. So she's like, yeah, she already knows it. She's passionate about it and she can pedal. I got you. So I paid for her class and she started. Then another friend of mine that also owns a fashion house heard about it and she's like, oh, Adele, and she already knows my story from beginning. So she was like, let her come. So she came for free. So she had 2 classes going at the same time last year. So she graduated from 2 schoolhouses. One was a camp, one was an actual school. And she graduated from that, right? So I took it a step further and hired like a professional tutor that comes every Thursday to our house to teach her. Yeah, so now she takes sewing classes at home, just like you would have piano lessons or swimming lessons or dance lessons. She takes sewing lessons. So my daughter can make a dress. My daughter can make a skirt. She can make blouse. And she's 9, right? So I learned to answer your question on should every child be entrepreneurial. She's already in that natural, she's going to be a fashion designer. She already has a name for her brand, and I won't share that yet because that's her story to tell, but she has a name for her brand. Once she gets older, there will be an LLC made. We'll start the marketing, advertising. I'll reach out to you. Hey, if you need custom outfits, Milan can make for you, for your kids, So I will start reaching out and marketing her when the time comes, right? Now, my last born, he's 7. Today, he wants to be a fireman. Tomorrow, he wants to be a policeman. The next day, he wants to be an Uber driver. I'm telling you, it's like, he wants to be an Uber driver. I'm like, why you want to be an Uber driver? He's like, well, I just want to drive people around. So then I asked him, you don't have to be a Uber driver to drive people around. Have you thought about owning like your own car company, like a rental car company, luxury rental, limo company, transportation business? You want to be what I think you're asking is to be in the transportation business. And if you want to be in transportation business, the options are endless and you can make a lot of money. And his face lit up, So again, to answer your question, whatever your child is leaning towards, just present the options to them. Right. Because with him, he only saw Uber as the only option. And he really loves cars. So he was like, I guess I'm going to be an Uber driver. So now I have to show him there are other options in transportation that you can do, transportation business. Yeah. So I don't know. For other parents, I just naturally will show my kids how to create value and how to scale. Do you understand? Right. In your talent. I will teach you how to scale. So you wanna do hair, or you like cosmetology, or you like makeup and stuff. You can work for somebody, or you can own yours. You're a tech person, you can work for somebody, or you can own yours. I actually have a police officer friend who owns a security company, a security business, and he's very credible because he's a police officer. So he's like, this is what works, and this is what will help you with, your security system in your business and your home. And how he can come and set it up. It's hooked up to your phone. It's hooked up to the city, so any break-in, the city knows about it, hooked up to your phone. He has all these gadgets because he's a police officer. So he's already in that line. I can't even share all the things that he does, better than he can, because that's his line, that's his natural bent. So if my son ever turns into a police officer, or, I would introduce that to him and say, hey, that's beautiful that you're a police officer, but you can leverage that skill, you can leverage that mindset. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? There's so many things you can do, even as a police officer.
Yeah. I'm learning so much. I think where parents often miss it is, and what I'm hearing is, for example, you saw your daughter was very crafty, she's sewing. I would just think like, oh, that's cute, and put it in my mind for the future. But you are already researching once I get the first no, I'm just like, okay, we'll try again next year. But you're researching, you're making calls, you're getting an extra tutor. Why do you think, I have so many questions. First, how are you able to, like, how much time do you spend with them to be able to catch all of these things, right? You have 4 kids, you have businesses. So how much time do we need to spend with them to be able to catch all of these things? And why do you feel the urgency to do it immediately, right? Naturally, I would say, oh, that's cute. Maybe when you turn 10, we can do that. But it feels like you're very intentional in let's get it done as soon as we can. Why do you think that you're like that?
Well, I want to train them in the way that they will go so that when they grow, they will not depart from it. That's what the Bible tells me. It doesn't tell me to wait till they grow to then train them. You know, you start from now to train them in the way that they will go. And that means like their natural bent, you know, and when they grow, they don't depart from it. So I don't wait for things like that. As soon as I find a passion and it's consistent, because again, what I will say to parents is you don't have to spend 24/7 to know what your child, I mean, if you think about it, you would know. Like, there are things that they are naturally attracted to, you know? The problem we have as parents is we overlook it. But even if you are spending 30 minutes, in them 30 minutes, the signs will be there. There are signs. You would know. And you also know with the consistency, because again, when they are younger, like when they are 2,
It's changing.
it changes. Like today they love dinosaurs, tomorrow they love cars, you know? So it changes. But by the time they start getting to that, from 5, from kindergarten to, you know, 7, 8, there's a consistent theme that they always lean towards. And parents, we know. You know how I know we know? Because that's what we create the theme for their birthday parties. We waste all the money on the birthday party. So you already know, oh, my son loves cars, and you create a beautiful birthday party for him, and that's where it ends. But when you start having those conversations and normalizing entrepreneurship and normalizing creating value, owning stuff, you start to look, okay, rather than just focus on creating birthday parties in the things he likes, let's see how we can make, you know, show him other options of what the options are endless in this thing. Do you know you can build a career out of this that you love? You can make a career out of this. And then just get creative with it. Your son loves cars, take him to a car dealership, you know? Let him look at real cars, you know? Take him to a car dealership. Yeah, take him to a car dealership. And I've not done that with my kids, but I'm just saying, just thinking right now.
Right.
Yeah, just making that up right now. But I would imagine a car salesman, you walk up to him and say, this is my son, he's 5, he loves cars. And I just thought, you know, this would be a nice field trip for him today, you know, for you all to show him around, you know. And they will show him real cars. Take him to a luxury car place, let him look at all the cars, you know, with supervision, of course, you know, start showing him the options. You will see the extra pep in his step that day, that week, that month. He's gonna be like, wow, you know? Yeah. So look for creative ways to show your children the options that are out there. We again, raise dependent kids and expect independent adults. We figure it out as adults when we get older, when this could have been done for us when we were younger. So we know, we change careers so much when we are older because options were not presented to us when we were little.
Right.
If they were presented to us, if I had known this, I wouldn't have gone to school for this. I could have just done this. Why didn't nobody show me this? We see that all the time.
Yep.
You start off wanting to be a doctor and you're like, this is not me. Or you start off wanting to be a lawyer, or you even get the law degree and then go to what you really wanted. So why didn't you just go to what you wanted? Because nobody showed it to you as an option. Mommy said you must be a lawyer in this house. You must be, you know?
Or sometimes we don't see the profitability in all of those things that we consider hobbies. Yeah.
Because that's how it was presented to us when we brought it was shut down. The real jobs, especially for Nigerian home, the real job is doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant. That's it, right? That's it.
That's it.
If you're not picking any of these, what are we doing?
Failure.
Exactly. What are you doing? You know. So if you bring it up as like family, they're like, I'm sending you to school. You are going to be a doctor. They pick careers for you.
Yeah.
Out of fear, you do it. But as soon as you graduate, you go back to what I really always wanted to cook. And now you're a caterer. And now you do this or you do that, with your law degree.
Exactly.
And all the student loans.
Yeah. So, Ruby, for a mom who has heard everything you said, but she feels, like Ruby can do this because she has a lot of resources to travel, to pay for these classes. I would love to do this with my kids, but I'm barely getting by. But I don't want time to pass so much and nothing happens. So for a mom who is thinking that she wants to build generational wealth for her kids, even while she's still working on being financially stable, do you have any advice for that kind of person? How can they still nurture the kids with limited resources?
Yes. So my advice for that mom is the fact that she's already thinking about her children's future, the fact that she's already watching podcasts like this for her child is already a start. And I would encourage her to, first of all, normalize conversations about money with your kid. That is the first thing to do.
Okay.
Don't be overwhelmed. All this I'm saying is like years and years and years of experience, but you don't have to regret not starting early. You just start now. Start somewhere. Start now. And when you normalize those conversations with your kids, you have to be creative with the answers that they give you, right? So if you don't, let me give you an example. So you find out that your daughter is into fashion, like what I just shared.
Right.
But maybe finances are tight for you to have like a private tutor. Okay, are you exposing her to online teaching classes that are free? Because Adele also watches those. Yes, I provided her a private tutor, but there are classes on YouTube, how to. There's how-to videos for everything. That's free.
Yep.
So as soon as you find out your daughter likes that, maybe that's what we should start doing on the weekends. Maybe we should start watching how-to videos. You know what I mean? And just let her understand that it's okay to have those dreams. Because sometimes children would hear conversations around the home will let them know the expectation of their parents. Just the conversations you're having. So they might even not feel like it's a safe place for them to tell you that I don't want to be a lawyer, I want to be a fashion designer, or I want to be a seamstress, or they feel like I can't share that. So change the culture in your home, change the conversations in your home to accept, to be open to other careers and other things that your child will want to do, and start to get creative. We make time for things that are important to us. And if it's important to you and you've changed your mindset, maybe by watching podcasts like this, you're changing your mindset, it will come to you on how you can start to create this kind of environment for your child. So start small, start now. Change conversations in your home about money and how to create wealth, how to create value, how to grow money. We don't spend money, just to spend money. We're growing our money, Start to have those kind of conversations with your kid. Watch podcasts like this and there's a plethora of podcasts and webinars and, do your research on what you can do to set your kid up for success.
Yeah,
that would be my advice to that parent. But let's not focus on the past and what I should have done when my kid was 5 or what my kid is. Okay, that's okay. He's 12 now. We're here now. He's 12. You can still do it. 12 is still good, or he's 15 or he's 18. You can still do that, Nice.
Yeah. We're going to get into rapid fire, but before that, a little birdie told me that you're writing a book.
Yes.
You want to share about that?
Yes. Yes, I am writing a book because I've had so many brunches and so many conversations like this with friends. And people are inspired by how I have raised my kids and how I'm raising them, because I'm still raising them. So how I'm raising my kids, how I'm raising the kids in my daycare, because these are concepts that I bring to my families in my daycare, right? So we didn't even talk, we've been talking about kids. That's a whole different podcast. You have to invite me next time for me to share the programs that I do with the children in my daycare that are very similar to what I just shared. So parents come in and they're like, wow, the possibilities for my children to learn this and learn that,
How old are the kids in your daycare?
So we start from 6 weeks all the way to 13-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we do after-school program. So from the 5-year-olds to the 13-year-olds are after school and summer camp, right? And then from the preschool age is from the babies to 5 before kindergarten. So that's pre-K and after school. So with that, I have learned so much. I have shared so much as well with different parents. And this year, I just thought, you know what? Let me write a book to reach a wider audience. Because it's just my circle. And my circle is very small. Intentionally, I keep a very small circle. So all this I'm sharing with you, my friends have witnessed it, or I have shared with them different snippets and different tips on how, to even be even better parents. I share with my daycare parents, so my circle is so small. But when you write a book, you reach a wider audience. So I was like, you know what? Let me share all this in a book so I can reach wider audience. Another reason I'm writing a book is my legacy. When I'm no longer here, my kids can say, this is all mommy's thoughts and ideas on parenting. They can use it for themselves. They can use it for other people, So it's just a way to spread the word.
Yeah.
Because these brunches, they're getting expensive and they're getting, it's like one brunch,
So people will say, hey, I want to have brunch.
Yeah, absolutely. All the people text me, hey, Ruby, I want to pick your brain on something, and because I'm an entrepreneur, I have a little more time. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And then we go to brunch and it's something on parenting or something on marriage. Again, I have a whole different experience with marriage. I've been married for 18 years, 19 years by the time your podcast comes out. It will be 19 years of marriage. So I have all these ideas and all these things that I have learned from being married. So some of my friends would be like, oh, can I pick your brain on something? And they share something with me. And I'm like, oh, it happened to me. And this is what I did. Or you know what, this is what I read. Or we're marriage mentors in our church.
Okay.
So we mentor a lot of couples in the church setting. But then my friends don't have to register with the church to reach me. Right. They can always just have lunch with me and talk. So I'm helping them with marriage. I'm helping them with their kids, parenting. Then it's business. They have this business idea. The first person they call is Ruby. Like, Ruby, I want to share something with you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm like, have you thought about this? I'm doing free business consulting for my friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the ones who already have business that want to discuss with another business person who can relate to some of their struggles, they call me. Or they want to celebrate a grant they just won. They can't talk to everybody about it. Or they want to celebrate a win in their business. They can't talk to everybody. So they want to talk to another business person who can relate. So girl, it's like every week I'm on one lunch or the other. I'm like, you know what? It's time to write a book. Let me just write it, put everything all down and spread the word.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
I love
and
it.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited. It's created quite a buzz, and I am excited to release it this summer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would definitely be buying the book and recommending it to my friends because, again, you're not in my circle. I've known you for just about a year or maybe 2 years. I think it's actually 1 year.
It's 1 year.
It's 1 year, right? Yeah.
1 year.
I follow you on Instagram. I see 1/10 of your life. And the little...
snippet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the little I see, I am mind blown. Is it how your kids cook from scratch? Like I was telling my husband when we were driving, like...
They started cooking at 7.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation with cooking. Yeah. They start
I see that they juice from scratch, like not just the girls, the boys as well.
Absolutely. And that's very intentional.
That's intentional.
Too.
I mean, having this conversation, I'm not surprised that
that's very intentional. How many husbands don't know how to do common chores and expect their wives to do everything? So I am raising men that would be independent.
Truly independent
of their wives. And there will be 2 beautiful girls turned women that will be very happy one day. You know, my daughter-in-laws will be very happy one day because my kids will know how to cook, take care of their family and stuff, you know? So it's very intentional. But yeah, not to cut you off, but yeah, that was very, very intentional. Very, not just the women, because that's the culture that we're familiar with, you know? We teach women how to be good wives. We drum it down in our culture. So if you go to your husband's house, this is the nonsense you'll be doing. So if you go to your husband's house, you can't even sweep. So if you go to your husband, you hear stories. Right. But who tells for the little boy, it's like, oh, go and sit down, he's just a boy. Go and sit down, he's just a boy. Let him not, he can't sweep, go and sit down. You have the sisters cook and then call the brother to come eat. And then when he's done, he leaves the plate there, then the sisters come and wash it, you know? Yeah. And then you expect it again. We're raising dependent children, expecting independent adults. It does not work. Yep. So you have to be intentional with that, you know? And little background, my father is one of 13 boys. My grandma from my father's side had 13 boys. Wow. My grandma from my mom's side had 5 girls. Oh, wow. Yeah. So my grandma from my father's side with the 13 boys, she had no girls. So she had to teach all her boys how to do chores. So my father of blessed memory, he's passed now. My father, thank you. He knew how to do house chores. He knew how to cook, knew how to do everything, right? Him and his brothers. Then my mom, she's like, she can hang anything on the wall, very handy, because they didn't have any boys in their home. You see? Yeah. So she can do whatever a man can do, my mom can do it even better, right? I saw something online one time. It's like, just allow the men to do what the men are supposed to do. Don't say what a man can do, a woman can do better. No, we don't want to do it better. Let the man do what he's supposed to do. That was funny. I just thought about that. But yeah, my mom can, whatever handiwork you think is for a man, my mom can do it because that's how she grew up. She didn't have any brothers to help her, you know? Yeah. So it's very intentional, that part, to have well-rounded kids. Prepare your kids, have kids that are raised to be capable, raised to be independent, prepared kids, not perfect kids, prepared kids. Yeah.
Girl, I'm so blown away. I knew this was going to be good, but I'm hearing things I've never heard before. I'm hearing things that I will read in a book, from someone that is sitting across from me. And I see it. I see the lived action in your kids. I see how well brought up they are, and I'm just like, I don't aspire to be like people in different things, but I know that there's so much I can learn from you when it comes to parenting and raising responsible, prepared kids.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm sure that this podcast will be very helpful to a lot of parents around the world.
Okay.
So let me pull up my rapid fire questions. What is one thing that you have spent the most money on in the last 6 months to 1 year?
Most money on, I would say property.
Nice.
Property, yeah.
Nice.
6 months to 1 year, right?
6 months, yeah. In the last
Property.
6 months to 1 year.
Property.
Nice. If there was something you could change about like yourself growing up, what would that be?
If I could change this one thing, it will be having siblings. So for the first 18 years of my life, I was the only child.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I have a brother, and he's way younger than me. I raised him practically because I was 18 when he was born. So again, that's a whole story in itself, because I learned how to parent from a very young age. Even before I had my own children, I already knew little things about raising a kid, right? So if there was one thing I could change, it would be having siblings. I just used to, I remember just, I read a lot because of that. I love to read because I was an only child. That's the only thing I could do, watch TV or read. And I just used to dream about having a large family. Because remember, my parents' families are like my father had 12 brothers. So whenever we go back to our hometown for Christmas or, holidays, I have so many cousins with their siblings. Like imagine 12 brothers with 12 wives and 12 and all their children. So I just wanted a large family. I if there's one thing I could change is a large family. But I was determined to do that for myself. And that's why I had 4 kids. I would have kept going. I honestly would have if my doctor did not say stop. Which is another story for another day, because I had complicated births with all of them, all C-section babies. So my doctor was like, okay, you need to stop. I really would have kept going.
It kind of makes sense, the way you treat your family. That's why a lot of things growing up affects us. So being an only child, you're like, oh my God, when I grow up, I want to have many
family.
kids. We're going to do things together.
Absolutely.
Do you get? So I kind of see why you are the way you are.
Yes.
And I'm happy that it has worked out for you. That is really, really beautiful.
Oh, thanks to God.
What is one money mistake you made that actually taught you the most lesson?
A money mistake that I made. There is a property we wanted to build somewhere, and the numbers looked right on paper, but we just did not have a good feeling about it. And we had prayed about it, but we were not getting the confirmation to move. So my husband and I, again, our family culture is obedience, right? The first is we're obedient to God. So when he tells us to move, we move. When he tells us to sit back, no matter what the numbers look like, we sit back. But this particular one, it just looked so good to be true. And it just looked like if you don't jump on it now, like you are crazy, you're going to regret it, right? So we did. We jumped on it. And it wasn't supposed to be what we were doing. So we lost some money with that, But now we're in we found the one that God wanted us to be in, and we're happy in our home and everything. So that's one major mistake that we made. And the lesson we learned from that is, if it doesn't feel right, even if the numbers look good, if it's not for you, it's not for you, no matter how good the numbers look. Yeah.
I'm curious. Your family culture, family values, they are not just for the kids. They're for the way you and your husband operate as well.
Family culture.
I love that.
It's our family culture. Even the kids it's a safe space for them to be like, are you following family culture? Respectfully, They are allowed to. Be like, that's not in our family culture, mommy.
I love it.
You know?
I love it. Yeah.
You hold each other accountable.
Yeah. What does building wealth mean to you?
Building wealth is not just about money. Building wealth is about family, to be able to spend time with my family, my husband, my children. So you mentioned that earlier, just having the time. Where would you have the time to spend with the kids? That's what wealth is to me. Creating that time to spend.
Freedom.
The freedom. Wealth is freedom. You know, wealth is options, you know, the option to say no. I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead. The option to say yes. The option to be able to build, to create without worrying about the financial burden. Because people have the ability, but they may not have the financial
Cushion.
yes, to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to venture out. If you have that financial cushion to venture out into something, that's wealth. So if I am able to, yes, I'm in childcare, but then there's this property here that is a good deal that I can get, and I'm able to do that without worrying about bills, without worrying about, you know, my children, how are we going to eat if I do that? It's a good opportunity, but I can't do it because I don't have the money. If you're able to do it and your kids and your family is still good, that's wealth.
I love that.
Wealth is peace of mind, you know, peace of mind. Wealth is legacy. If you're able to leave something behind for your children, not just inheritance, but your wisdom, your knowledge, that's wealth. So there's something I always say, like, it's not what you have left for the children, it is what you left with them before you left. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you're no longer here, but did you leave something for them?
It's not just about the things.
Yes, it's not just about things you left for them, is what you left for them intellectually, wisdom, knowledge, you know? So that's what wealth means to me. Peace of mind, legacy, family, having time, having options without financial strain or burden. Another very important one is, you've heard the saying, health is wealth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because there are people who have all the money, but they don't have the health to actually enjoy the money. And then there are people that have money, they have health, but, you know, they spend so much of their life chasing money and push their whole family away. And now they're exchanged from their kids and their family, you know, they don't talk to anybody, but they're millionaires. What's the point in that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what wealth means to me. If I can have all this, I'm good. My family, instill knowledge and wisdom in my children, have their love, have a legacy, something like my book, where they can look back and say, this is mommy's ideas and thoughts, and you know, that's wealth to me. Having the time to build that relationship with them without worrying about bills. That's wealth.
Love it. Love it. Final question, and I'm just curious. You have like your background, sharing your background and how you had already planned to raise your kid. It feels like you have had to be very intentional with who you're building with your husband, right? How similar are you in terms of like your background and all of these things that you have planned for the kids? Or was it something that when you guys came together, you said, hey, this is how we're going to do it going forward? And the reason I'm asking is, as a woman, you could have all these ideas, but if you get married to someone who doesn't share similar values and is not teachable, all of these plans that you have for your kids it's harder to actually bring it to life. So I'm just curious, how on board was your husband with these things? Or did you guys meet halfway? Was it something you were intentionally looking for?
I think the answer that I can give you that would make the most sense, that will be applicable for anybody, is number one, marry a healed man, and marry a man that is accountable to his maker, okay? If you marry a man who is God-fearing and healed, that is the number one first step. Let me give you an example. If he comes from a background that is not similar from you, similar to yours, but he's healed, that man can then say, it ends with us. We are not transferring this abuse or transferring this mindset or transferring this thought process to our children. This is how I grew up, and I don't like it. I am changing it for my next generation. Okay? If you marry a man that is God-fearing, a lot of these ideas and wisdom comes to him from God. A lot of these things I'm saying, you can find them in the Bible. This is not original. You know, I'm not the smartest person. You know, these are things principles that is somewhere in the Bible or somewhere, you know, in our tradition, our way of life, you know. You can learn from the way things have been done in the past, modifying it, tweak it for your family. You can learn from the history. You can learn from history. You can learn from the Bible, you know. You can have mentors. Marry a man that is open to mentorship. Mentorship from the Holy Spirit. That means he's a God-fearing man. He actually listens to, you know, the voice of the Lord, and he obeys God. And he has mentors in his life, right? I have a lot of mentors. These things that I'm saying is not original ideas. They are not original ideas. They are from people, from my mom. I even have an American mom of blessed memory now, you know, but I learned so much from her, you know, how they look at women that are older, that have raised exceptional men and women, and pick their brain. And a lot of the ideas I'm sharing with you will be very similar. You know, pick their brain, get to know them, so you're inspired by them. That's what I do. Right. A lot of my mentors are people who have children my age or children slightly younger than me. So I learn from the mistakes they made, and also the things they did good. I want to do for my children as well. You know? So when you bring those ideas to a healed man, he's like, oh yes, because you all are already on the same page. He's already in the it ends with us mindset. I'm not doing this. I'm not traumatizing my kids, you know? I'm not pushing this mindset to my kids. Yeah. So he might be at that part where he doesn't want to do this thing to his kids, but where do I go? What do I do? And then you bring these ideas, he's like, that's it. Yes, we're going to implement that. We're going to do it because he's healed. If you marry somebody that is still in the same mindset.
I don't want to assume that I know what healed is. And in case someone is thinking, Ruby, what does healed mean? I know now we're going into another dimension. Now we've left parenting. We're in marriage podcasts. You need to invite me again for marriage podcast. In a short sentence, who's a healed man, or what does healed mean?
In my opinion, a healed man is somebody who has recognized the flaws and the holes in their upbringing. They know what their pain cycle is and their peace cycle. Have you heard that before?
Yep.
Okay. So they know their pain cycle. They know their triggers. They know what has happened in their past and how it affects their behavior today. And then they want to live in their peace cycle now because they've recognized their pain cycle, and then they want to actually live in their peace cycle. The peace cycle is, okay, how do I stay in this hula hoop of my peace where I'm not in this other pain cycle and it's affecting my behavior? I want to be here. When you find a man that is here in his peace cycle, that's a healed man. A healed man takes accountability. Okay, so nobody is perfect. But once they see that they are drifting to this thing, and you can call him out on it like, hey, I noticed you're a little snippety today, or you're a little, whatever the issue is. Right. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reverting back to the old me. Let me get back to this. Let me repent and get back to my peace cycle. That's a healed man. Yeah. You know, he's accountable to himself, accountable to God, accountable to his mentors. He has people that he can talk. Some men they just don't listen. The fact that you're a woman, you want to talk to him. The fact that you're a woman, he's already trivializing whatever you have to say, as if God did not put brain in women, you know? Yeah. But a man who can listen to you, even as a woman, and understand where you're coming from, see that you bring value to the table,
Right.
you have something to say. I have something to say. I am wise. I'm a wise woman. God has put something in me for me to say and share with you. And a man who is humble enough to listen, that's a healed man. And then he can listen to mentors as well. He has, like I shared with you, he has older men who have raised, exceptional children or exceptional men, and they look up to those men and they want to emulate the good things. That's a healed man. If he's what is he? Can't talk to me. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that's not a healed man.
Got it.
God-fearing as well. One thing my husband will do is always go back to the Bible. Always go back to God. That's the one thing my husband will do. And he will come back and tell you, you know what the Lord just told me? And he will tell me what the Lord just told him. And I'm like, that's what I've been trying to tell you since, But he would always go back and check with his God, And when you have that, that's a blessing. His background is, to answer your question, is similar, but also very different in some ways. He grew up with siblings. Matter of fact, he grew up the same exact birth order as we have, our children. It's 2 boys and 2 girls, same girl, boy, same age difference. It's amazing how God did that, So his background is similar to what we're trying to raise our kids with, but there are also very different things in there, There's typical Nigerian mindsets that he grew up with that he's like, okay, that ends with me. I'm not bringing that to my kids, And then me, there are things that I grew up with that I'm like, okay, that ends with me. I'm not bringing it to my children. But then we also have good things in our backgrounds that we're like, okay, we want our kids to be like this.
Thank you for sharing that. This was awesome. I cannot wait for the book to be out. Maybe I'll be one of those people that will book brunches in the future.
Absolutely.
But how can people find you? You should actually girl, you have so many business. Don't need me to give you ideas. But I was going to say you should actually do like a coaching, like paid coaching.
So that is in the works.
That is in the works?
That is in the works. Paid coaching, webinars, having some type of way to share knowledge, to share things with people and reach a wider audience. So I'm starting with the book. And then I want to create a community which might be ready by the time you air the podcast, right? Okay. So I want to create a community of women or a community of people online where we can share things weekly with them. And then we can from there start, one-on-ones or coaching or group coaching or whatever, however the Lord wants to lead that whole thing, But it is in the works. It is in the works. I want to pay it forward. All these things that I have learned, I want to pay it forward. And I've been doing it one-on-one. And the people who know me, they are like holding on to me so tight, like, Ruby, and now I'm like, it's time to share it, So how people can reach me on Instagram, Ruby Tassy, RUBYTASSY. And then if you want to join the community, like I just shared, or hear more about when my book comes out, any more information about that, text childcare to the number 26786.
Okay. And I'll put it in the description as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that would lead you to more information about the book, when it's coming out, when it's going to be released, and, just joining my community. If I'm going to have like a webinar or something like that, or any coaching coming up in the future, you'll be the first to know.
Awesome. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing so generously. This was awesome. I can imagine that it will bless a lot of people as it has blessed me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have an amazing
This was fun. This is fun.